We have the Islanders hiring Mathieu Darche as their next general manager. I didn't expect to see there. He was their president. He was the Lightning president of hockey
Yep.
ops, and he ended up coming in there in 2019, winning back-to-back cups with them, 3 straight cup finals appearances, and I genuinely enjoy this hire
Yeah.
for the Islanders.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming from an organization with a history of winning. I think, Tampa Bay has done a really good job staying competitive. 3 Stanley Cup finals in a row, 2 back-to-back cup champions. You know, Coming from a winning organization, he's been under, Tampa's kind of had a pipeline of GMs too. Like Steve Yzerman kind of built that team, and then Julian Brisebois, I probably said it wrong. Uh, he kind of took the final steps to get that team into real cup contention status. And, a lot of the times with these teams, this happened in Colorado, where Joe Sakic was the GM. He ended up stepping down, well, kind of, I don't know, promoted or he stepped out of the GM role
Yeah.
to allow their current GM, his name's eluding me.
McFarland.
Yes, McFarland, and to kind of take over the GM role because they didn't want to lose him.
Mm-hmm.
And that might be a situation similar to Tampa where he was kind of like the guy underneath, and he's done a great job because assistant GMs and the guys underneath the GM do a lot of the heavy lifting for the GMs. The GMs always have the final say, but they can't possibly do everything.
Yeah.
A lot of them end up running like the AHL teams, and honestly, considering how Tampa has no farm system at all, their AHL team's pretty competitive. It's mainly filled with a bunch of AHL vets, like not NHL guys, but they're a competitive AHL team. So,
I mean, there's something for you. This roster for the Islanders has some work to do.
yeah,
But if I'm an Islanders fan or media person, whoever, I'm confident in Darche that he can do it.
just finally feel like the Islanders are finally taking a step into the future and
I
not
hope so.
not playing like it's like the early 2000s anymore.
It does help that they have the number 1 overall pick, and
That does help a lot.
it helps a ton.
I mean, they really lucked out. I don't know what it is with the draft viruses here in the NHL and the NBA. Two teams that had no business winning the lottery ended up winning it.
You had in the NBA, you
That
had
was Dallas. That you can't tell me that wasn't rigged.
no,
Come
it
on,
has been,
come on.
and then in the NHL, you had the Islanders jump up 9 and Utah jump up 10 spots. That's nuts. That really is nuts. And with the Islanders roster too, it's a mix of young guys and older guys, and you can rebuild this roster. Not rebuild, retool this
Yeah,
roster in a couple of years if you end up doing the right chips. And you just have to make these calculated trades, and you don't have to
Yep.
go big fish hunting like some of these other teams do. Sure, it'd be nice to go out and get a top free agent, but you also don't need to. You have the pillars. You have a Barzal. You have a Horvat, who are both locked up.
Honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take or not. It wouldn't shock me if the Islanders explored moving Horvat.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't hate that if I was.
I'm not a fan of the contract. I know him not having Barzell playing on a line with him kind of hurt, but that trade always felt weird to me, even when they did it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt like just throwing shit at the wall to see if it was because they were just desperate to make the playoffs. They ended up making the playoffs with Bor Horvat after he got traded there. JG Peugeot was probably playing his last few. Does he have a year left on his
He
contract?
has.
Or
Yeah,
two?
he has a year of 5 left.
Yeah, they'll probably end up trading him at the deadline, eating half the contract or something. You could start
Mhm.
kind of moving out some of those older veteran players, getting them some younger pieces, some draft picks. But the thing that is going to put them above all, like I think this is the main reason why they're not going into rebuild instead of a retool, is they have Ilya Sorokin.
Interesting.
That guy's too good to rebuild your team.
Do you think having Sorokin with Dobson and Barzell, those are your 3 guys you have
Those
to
are
build
their
around?
pillars right now, and they're going to add a fourth one with their number 1 overall pick,
Yes.
which I'm assuming is going to be Schaefer. I mean, we'll see.
Can't go wrong with Schaefer, Misa, or
You
Higgins.
can't go wrong at a potential number 1 defenseman. They're so hard to find, and Dobson's great, but you take this kind of reminds me of like the Sabres and Dahlin. I'm not saying Dobson's as good as Dahlin, but the Sabres couldn't say no to Owen Power. Just the defenseman at his size. Schaefer's not nearly as big as Owen Power.
I would like a top 4 of Polak, Pellick, Dobson, and Schaefer. And then
That's
you
a
have
good mix of like offensive guys. Like Pellick's a pure stay-at-home defenseman.
Scott Mayfield and Alexander Romanov, who can be
Yep.
your bottom pair guy. And then
That's not a bad defensive unit. The issue with the Islanders, they had scoring issues too.
yeah, and maybe Darche wants to make a good impression and makes a big splash, whether it's some free agency or whether it's a trade for some scoring help, especially because the draft is the last Friday in June. Let's say they do go to Schaefer with plans of going out and getting a forward to help up front. Like, I don't think that's technically a bad plan either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think getting the number 1 pick just really kind of saved them. I'm going to be completely honest with you because, you're still getting a good player at their original spot where they were at 11.
Yeah, 11, yeah.
Like but they probably weren't going to be in the NHL for 2 or 3 years. Now at the end, I mean, if you pick Schaefer, he might go to college for a year. You'll probably get him the year after that. I wouldn't really worry about that.
No, I wouldn't. And who knows? I guess we'll see.
I mean, they could pick a center in Misa or Higgins or take one of the top wingers off the board. That's the beauty of having number 1 pick is you can pick whoever you want.
And whoever they feel like will be the better prospect that they'll take.
Not the greatest draft to get the number 1 overall pick in, but you know what? You take it when you can get it.
Exactly. Any number 1 overall pick is a blessing. Thank you for watching the entire video. If you guys would like more exclusive content, make sure to follow us over on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Also, check out our new episodes, which drop every single Sunday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Available to stream on all platforms.